Ali Baba rose before day, and, followed by his slave, went to the baths, entirely ignorant of the important event which had happened at home, for Morgiana had not thought it safe to wake him before for fear of losing her opportunity, and after her successful exploit she thought it needless to disturb him. When he returned from the baths, the sun was risen. He was very much surprised to see the oil jars, and that the merchant was not gone with the mules. He asked Morgiana, who opened the door and had let all things stand as they were, that he might see them, the reason of it. "My good master," answered she, "God preserve you and all your family. You will be better informed of what you wish to know when you have seen what I have to show you. If you will, give yourself the trouble to follow me." As soon as Morgiana had shut the door, Ali Baba followed her, when she requested him to look into the first jar and see if there was any oil. Ali Baba did so, and seeing a man, started back in alarm and cried out. "Do not be afraid," said Morgiana. "The man you can see there, neither do you or anybody else any harm. He is dead." "Oh, Morgiana," said Ali Baba, "what is it you show me? Explain yourself." "I will," replied Morgiana. "Moderate your astonishment, and do not excite the curiosity of your neighbours. Look into all the other jars." Ali Baba examined all the other jars, and when he came to that which had the oil in, found it prodigiously sunk, and stood for some time motionless, sometimes looking at the jars, and sometimes at Morgiana, without saying a word. So great was his surprise. At last, when he had recovered himself, he said, "And what is become of the merchant?" "Merchant?" answered she. "He is as much one as I am. I will tell you who he is and what is become of him. But you had better hear the story in your own chamber, for it is time for your health that you had your broth after your bathing." While Ali Baba retired to his chamber, Morgiana went into the kitchen to fetch the broth. But before he would drink it, he first entreated her to satisfy his impatience and tell him what had happened, with all the circumstances, and she obeyed him. "This," she said, when she had completed her story, "is the account you asked of me, and I am convinced it is a consequence of what I observed some days ago, but did not think fit to acquaint you with. For when I came in one morning early, I found our street door marked with white chalk, and the next morning with red, upon which both times, without knowing what was the intention of those chalks, I marked 2 or 3 neighbours' doors on each side in the same manner. If you reflect on this and what has since happened, you will find it to be a plot of the robbers of the forest, of whose gang there are 2 wanting, and now they are reduced to 3. All this shows that they had sworn your destruction, and it is proper you should be upon your guard while there is one of them alive. For my part, I shall neglect nothing necessary to your preservation, as I am in duty bound." When Morgiana had left off speaking, Ali Baba was so sensible of the great service she had done to him that he said to her, "I will not die without rewarding you as you deserve. I owe my life to you, and for the first token of my acknowledgment, give you your liberty from this moment, till I can complete your recompense as I intend. I am persuaded with you that the 40 robbers had laid snares for my destruction. God by your means has delivered me from them as yet, and I hope will continue to preserve me from their wicked designs and deliver the world from their persecution. All that we have to do is bury the bodies of these pests of mankind immediately, and with all the secrecy imaginable, that nobody may suspect what has become of them. But that labour Abdullah and I will undertake." Ali Baba's garden was very long, and shaded at the farther end by a great number of large trees. Under these he and the slave dug a trench, long and wide enough to hold all the robbers. Afterwards they lifted the bodies out of the jars, took away their weapons, carried them to the end of the garden, laid them in the trench, and levelled the ground again. When this was done, Ali Baba hid the jars and the weapons, and as he had no occasion for the mules, he sent them at different times to be sold in the market by his slave.